was here was a completely different situation. I loved coming to Louisville and meeting all of you and Jesse and Mike and made a lot of lasting friendships. And I had no idea how much I would need them. I went through a lot last year. I left a abusive marriage, and I didn't know what jiu-jitsu was going to look like for me. Um, and in that time, Jesse and Mike kept reaching out, making sure I was okay, and just like the best kind of friends you could ever want. And Jesse reached out to me and said, "Look, absolutely no pressure, but somebody backed out. Can you coach? We'd love to have you." And I said, I'm gonna take it as a sign I needed that I'm coming back to jiu-jitsu and I'm doing this. And I brought my team. I brought an amazing team of people. So our Airbnb is very, very packed because I was like, hey, you want to come do jiu-jitsu with me? And these are the people that, like, Eric, I've never had a chance in front of all these people to say, like, he's one of the people that I was like, I can't get up off the couch. And he would talk me through it. So I'm so, so happy to be here. I'm also going to show you some jiu-jitsu. It allegedly works if we can get to that position, Mike and I were saying last night. So I'm going to teach you like the finishing mechanics, how you get there. I don't know, ask your coach. But I really love this position, and I found that I was using it a lot at an open mat with a bunch of beginners. They say that, like, as you do a lot of jiu-jitsu, you'll kind of, your personality comes out to shine. Do you ever roll with that guy who's just like such a dick? And you're like, wow, I had no idea until we rolled. Why are you looking at him? Like, that was But I found that when I was rolling with these beginner women, I kept putting them in the gift wrap. And I was like, I can't armbar this girl again. Like, that's just, it's getting rude. I have to come up with other things to do. So I did. I also taught this to my nephew who trains with me as, like, it's just a really great beginning part. Because one of the first submissions we teach at our gym in Winona, Illinois, forgot to say that, sorry guys, is the Americana. And so it's one of the first submissions like that we teach people. And so I kind of came up with this as a defense to the Americana. So one of the things I really like to use is when people are moving, I give them enough resistance to make them think that I don't want them to do that. And then when they do, I was like, that's what I wanted all along. This is really funny. So Keith, come on out here and come down. So we're gonna pretend that I somehow got mount on Keith. All right, you're gonna use your imagination. You're gonna think I have the best coach in the world because I'm able to get mount on Keith. It's probably because this is how we started the match, right? But if I want to get an Americana on Keith, he's just gonna like bench press me off him, right? Put your arm on the mat.
Those colors don't run, Missy.
Damn it. So I have this little trick that I do, and it hurts Keith's poor little heart when I do this. But when I push against him, he's way, way stronger than me, right? He can take that. But when he doesn't know which way I'm gonna push, so the mechanics of that is, I go up here and down here, and he can't just push that away.
I'd like to point out that the first time she did this, she didn't tell me. And I might have peed a little bit.
In fact, I said, do you have a good shoulder? And he's like, why?
Cool.
And Natalie's like, because you're
Look at how
about
big
to
my
not
shoulder
have
is.
one. Right? So when I'm pushing against him and I'm like, oh, and he's so strong, what I'll do is I'll push, and then I'm pulling and twisting. And if I'm really getting a lot of resistance and he's really being mean, I will like turn this into like a legal punch, right? A little legal-ish. Legal-ish. And it goes both ways, right? I can come here, still get it to the mat, or that's my favorite way, because I'm gonna get my elbow to the ear. Okay, so Let's warm up our partner's shoulders because we're gonna need that for the gift wrap. Push, 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 push. Give him some resistance. Twist. Get the elbow to the ear. Sound good?
Yep.
They asked a question. I'm on a clapper. Yes, on 2, 1, 2. Nailed it. Yeah, that was just kind of short because it's just like how to get to the position. I want to talk about the finishing mechanics of this because when I taught this in Illinois, I kind of went quickly over the Americana. When they defend, then we're going to go to the gift wrap. And I was like, even though it's a beginner's move, a lot of people don't understand the body mechanics of the Americana. So when I see people come to our gym and they're going here, they'll get the elbow here, they'll come under, they'll know all of this, and then they'll try to wrench this elbow up. Right? They're like, I'm getting it, coach. And then they get bumped and swept, and they're like, oh. Right? So I was like, I want to talk about like how you're actually going to finish this. And it's so stupid, some of the stuff I'm going to talk about. We could talk about grips forever. There is a better grip, like allegedly out on the internet now, but I have like so much muscle memory that I'm going here and here, grabbing my own wrist. And it's Chris Burns, okay? He'll be like, but your wrists move. Yeah, they do, but I also can find my own wrists. Okay, so I'm certainly don't put this on the internet that I'm saying that Chris Burns is wrong, please.
That sucks.
I will get canceled.
Sucks.
I get canceled so flippin' fast. Do not do that. But I can find my own wrist, and this feels like home to me, so I'm okay with that, right? What my mechanics of it is absolutely not lifting his elbow, right? It's pretty clear that he can do that, even if I'm like really gluing his hand to the mat. He's been doing jiu-jitsu a long time. Look, his elbow moves. But watch what happens when I like.
No.
The giggling wasn't part of it. When I bring his arm here, and I try to lift his elbow. Oh, he's crying a little bit. Yeah. So this is the mechanics of it, is I bring his arm. I call it sucking it all in. Right? When I'm out here, he's fine. When I suck it all in, I can feel the tension in his body. He's giggling. Because it's starting to suck so bad. And then I lift and I get the tap. Okay? The other thing, if this was Eric 20 years ago and he had lots of collagen, he'd be like, that's fine, I'm totally fine. So the last little trick, see how his thumb keeps going to the mat? Because he's a Neanderthal. See how that keeps doing that? I just look at it and go, no, let's try putting your pinky on the mat. And he doesn't like that.
I don't like that.
What are you doing with your feet? You keep looking at me. I am hooking this leg, right? This is giving me that opposite pressure. And that, I'm sure they're going to talk about this all weekend, this opposite pressure, right? So out here, he's like, fine. He giggles at me. Here, it changes. You can also add your head pressure, but it's really hard to coach like that. So I have my head up.
Oh, God. Oh.
See that 7 or 8 more times?
Oh. Who said
Did
that?
everyone see? Yeah.
I'm gonna find you.
Just give that
Looking for business.
give that a try. Ball down Americana. On 2, 1, 2. So this is called the gift wrap. We should probably get to the gift wrap. And the gift wrap is when they're like, right, you're choking yourself. Everyone had that, well, probably not everyone had that uncle that tortured you and just like said they were teasing. Yeah. This is what this move feels like to me. Let's have you here. It's like he's never been on camera before.
Nervous, all right?
You're beautiful, don't worry.
Thank you.
All right, so when I'm going for this, a lot of times people will like go 2-on-1 and they'll be like, no, you're not gonna separate my elbows from my body and you're not gonna get this away. So when I come here, they're gonna grab their own hand, right? Yeah. And if he goes all the way that way, all I'm gonna do is put my chest on his elbow. He almost put himself there, right? So as I'm here and I'm doing this like mean thing, he's like, no. Okay, I just switch my grip. I want this one around his wrist. And then I go chest pressure first. Okay, yes, I want to eventually get under his head, but this is what's going to keep this here. So I go chest pressure, I come under his head to switch. So now I'm grabbing that wrist. Please don't really do this. I'm trying to let you see like what hand is doing what. Do you watch those instructionals online? You're like, what the hell are they doing with their hands? Because they're all like this, right? Super tight. So don't actually be like, okay, I'm going to come here, and then I'm going to go here. But it's really like, I really want you to see that it's the chest pressure, which is so hard to say, but easy to do. Okay, that's what's keeping him here. So I get under his head and I grab his wrist. This is one of the little tricks is I want to turn him that way. So I'm going to push on his elbow. Then I'm going to kind of orbit around. I want him to have a head pillow. I want this foot really tight. Okay. Switch positions.
Cut.
Be quiet.
I can't turn left.
Yes. Marco's gonna watch this video and be like, "Shit." All right. So I'm coming here and he's like, no. Chest pressure, reach under, grab the wrist. Grab this elbow. If I don't grab this elbow, a lot of people will put their hands on the mat. I once got yelled at by Octavio for an hour and a half for doing that. So I don't do that anymore. But the thing is, I don't want him to be able to like turtle or get back to his back. I want him to stay on his side like this. So when I come here, he does. Right? Pushing that elbow down. Doing that thing that the uncle did, right? Like, you're choking yourself. Okay? So getting here, this is what I call the gift wrap position. Okay? So my foot is really tight. My knee is under his head, right? It's not here. Oh, the other thing I'm doing is, so right now, I'm looking at like Keith this way at the windows. When I go for the gift wrap, my posture is going this way, okay? You don't want to stay looking here, because this is engaging my hips. Does that make sense? You want to give it a try? On 2 and 2. It doesn't have to come from a failed submission, right? I don't have to be like, oh, I have to have this for him to go like that and to be here. All I really need is this elbow to go a little bit past center line, or for me to be able to make that happen. Does that make sense? So this is just how I'm showing it. It's not how it has to happen in real life. So it doesn't have to be like, oh, I tried for this, I failed at this, oh, he went, you know what I'm saying? Like, all I need is this elbow to go a little bit past, I can get the gift wrap. Okay, so that's how we're gonna start this. We're gonna stop wrenching on people's shoulders because we're gonna attack other things. So I'm gonna get here and here. This is all I need. Oh, pro tip, don't wrist lock yourself. That is one of the most humbling things when you're like, I just tapped myself out. That's terrible. So pro tip, get a nice strong elbow, wrist, don't tap yourself out. So here, reaching under, this also requires less hand grips. So if you were a little confused about that, this should help. All it's taking is getting his elbow here. All right, now I'm gonna reach under. When I'm doing this, how I'm actually getting Corey to move is not just like we had a conversation, like, hey, would you move to the side? How I'm getting that is this motion. pulling up on his arm, which is wrapped around his neck, which is still attached to his body, even though he's been doing jiu-jitsu a long time. It's still attached. I keep checking every week. So this motion, this pulling and pushing, is how I'm getting him on his side. Okay? That's what I feel like the gift wrap position is. Does it exist everywhere else in closed guard? Yes. But this is how I like to show it. So again, I'm driving this forward and pulling here. So let's do that a few more times, not starting from a failed submission. Just getting your partner here. Taking that elbow, scooching it over, and let's see if you can get them to move. And it's going to depend on body style, right? Like if you're with a partner who outweighs you by 100 pounds, you might struggle. They might have to help you a little bit. I pick people who make me look good. Getting it here and here. And I did see some people tapping out from this position. So good job. Right? If you can get them to tap from right here, that's a good gift wrap. Does that make sense? Let's try it on 2 and 2. Such a high level of jiu-jitsu in this room, like it's really, really amazing. So teaching an Americana to a bunch of black belts feels a little silly, but hopefully you can learn like one little thing that I'm doing here and take that home. And maybe you just like start putting your white belts in the gift wrap, and then they're like, oh man, that sucks. And then they come to Tennessee next year, and the circle goes round and round, right? Or Kentucky, yes, thank you. Sorry, now I'm canceled twice. All right, so one of my favorite moves is choking people with their own gi, right? That's why I love this sport. And I think I got my black belt when I like sharpened these little blades. So that's also probably why I like the gift wrap, right? I am using my blades against my opponent's neck. Now, that looks confusing because you're like, but I thought you said he is choking himself, right? But he sleeps like this. He's like, yeah, sleepy. He does not sleep like this with my little blade in his arm or in his neck. Does that make sense? So when I get here, yes, I'm using this for control. When I want to go for the submission, I put my little blade right under his ear. And I'm lifting his head up off the mat. I was teaching this to prepare for this camp, and one of my white belts, she's got the boniest little wrists. And she's over here and she's doing the move, and her partner's like, it's not it. And I was like, let me see. So I come here and I lifted his head up, and he's like, that's it. Right? Each choke needs to be 100%. I want to get the first like majority percentage on that first hand, because this one is the non-risky one. When I start coming in through here, this is when I start putting myself at risk. Does that make sense? Okay. So when I've got this position and I've got a good tight control, because I need control first, I'm going to have good control. I know Coach Eric and I were coming around and helping people really get, like, I want to sit on my partner. I don't want to be up here where he's comfortable. Okay, so I'm sitting on my partner. I've got him controlled. He's stopped, like, screwing around. Right? I've worn some of his energy out. So now I bring this blade up into his neck. I reach under and through, and turn this into a blade. And I just squeeze it like a baseball choke, kind of. That makes sense? Okay, so we're gonna get here. Another thing that I do a lot with my jiu-jitsu is I'm like pushing with my chest. I think Eric taught me like how to be a bulldozer one time, and I've like used that all the time. So I'm using my chest to move my partner. I reach under, I pull, I make it so he's sleeping on his own arm for the control position. When I go for the choke, I put my wrist in his neck. I put this blade on his other side, It's a blood choke. Takes up to 8 to 12 seconds. Yes.
What part of your upper arm is
It's a good question. Yeah, it's like right here. So I'm very particular about the blades. If I'm coming around and I'm seeing like the soft part of your arms against your partner's neck, you're not gonna get the tap. Blades.
Can you show that motion without the head right there? Where your arm-
So this one comes up and I'm like tilting his head up. So it sits on this bone. This one comes around. I find the other carotid and just try to guillotine.
Sandwich.
Yeah, sandwich.
Sandwich.
Okay? Give it a try. We'll come around and help. 2 on 2. A lot of really, really good questions. It's just choke mechanics. So if it makes sense to you that it's like a baseball bat choker, it's like an Ezekiel choker, it's like a cross collar choke, the answer is yes. Whatever is making you understand that it's your arms choking and cutting off the blood flow, right? I don't care what it reminds you of. Like I said, for me, it reminded me of the baseball bat choke because that's when I really learned that it was my elbows or my tucking my elbows and my wrists going in my partner's neck that was getting the choke. Some people are like, it's kind of like an Ezekiel. Sure. It's also like a old school guillotine, right? All those things. Okay, so whatever is making sense to you, if you're getting the tap, good, right? A lot of times I have to take things into my own terms because of how I learned, because there's 500 words for each jujitsu term, okay? One of my favorite quotes is not from my gym, but where's Marissa? Punch chokes are not a crime. They're not a crime against humanity. And if I'm gonna try to choke out Keith, he's gonna giggle at me. So go ahead and come on down. And the thing is, like, right, like it's just he's so big. I've got to use the mean stuff. Somebody called me evil earlier. Yeah. I mean, it was. And I hadn't even punch choked anyone yet. So the thing with the punch choke is you have to grab the gi to make it legal. Otherwise, it is a crime. If you don't have the gi, it's totally a hate crime. But once you grab the gi, you're like, okay. So I'm here and here. I'm putting my hand under his, because again, he sleeps well. He doesn't sleep like that. He probably sleeps like this. Yes. His own arm is comfy. Mine is not. I'm going to reach in, grab the gi, put my bony fist right here. And because I am mean, I'm not just going to push. Kind of going like this.
With the ring.
With the ring. Oh, yes. My Aurora score is going to be so good today. They're going to be like, why are you so happy today? Well, I got to punch choke people. Okay, so here, just kind of digging. Don't do that to your partner if they're like much smaller than you. Okay? Let's be nice a little bit. It's a long weekend. Just keep. Like, if you need to borrow him, come on up.
Oh,
Can you show the
it gets better every time.
It's really hard with Keith because he's so big, but that's also why I pick him because like it makes me look really tough. But I'm putting my, did you see his face? So he's like, cool. When I go like that, he starts wincing a little bit. He's just not as happy.
Oh, am I supposed to make the face then?
You are. Even though you're trying not to, he's like, ooh, okay? So this part of my wrist, right under the ear. And some people were like, especially the guys, were like, but my hands are really skinny, but your hands aren't as strong as this bone, right? So not the hand, even though it might like, looking at, that's skinny. Get this bone here, grab the gi. Okay.
That's what you get when you talk back.
It's not Sunday. On two. was a brown belt who was like really good at this part, and then they're like, how do I get in? Well, you got to let go a little bit, right? If you're really good at this, but that's the part I was saying is control. When I want to go for the submission, I kind of loosened it up a little bit. Okay, that makes sense? So I use my chokes to get my arm bars and my arm bars to get my chokes. So when I'm in here and I'm going for this choke and stuff, sometimes I can get the arm bar. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna be here, right? I wanted to go for this. He's just too strong. I'm not gonna be able to get it. Yeah, or he starts to lift my own arm up.
Damn it.
Thank you, sir. Right? He was like, you're not gonna get this.
You tricked me.
He's so strong. He's
I'm
so
so
strong. Oh my goodness.
Oh, that's bad.
That's bad. This is bad.
Is that your good shoulder?
That's a trick question.
Oh, that's a trick question. Just don't have your shoulder.
One thing that, like, as the uki, what you feel is like where that pressure is coming from. I think that really helps a lot, because what you're seeing is this. But Eric is happy there. What's happening is I'm pulling his arm towards that back wall and I'm driving my hips forward.
Not as good.
Not as good. Well, it's good for me. Okay, so we're gonna be here. We're gonna start to get this hand in, and they're like, no, I'm so strong. Give them a little resistance. You can see that I'm still trying to pull my elbow back towards my body until I'm like, cool. All right, so now I've got his elbow in my hip. My hips are driving forward. I've got good control. What I want to do is kind of pull his arm towards the ceiling. Put my shoulder in front of it. Get the tap. All right.
Let me get this arm so I can reach you better.
Okay. Get my tapping arm warmed up here. You're not used to that. All right. So I'm going for this choke, and he's like, no, I've seen this shit. You're so strong. Cool. And I'm pulling everything towards that ceiling. When his tendons are tight already, that helps my submission so much. When he's here and he's like limber and strong and has had his yogurt.
Jesus. I need that for stuff.
It's not as like terrible for him as when I'm really pulling, pull, push, chicken wing. Yes.
Are you doing any pushing with your hips to make the shoulder like
All.
more? All of it?
All of it, all the hips, all the time.
Where are you at? Yeah, good question. Who said that? Good question.
Does that make sense? So we're gonna go for this choke. He's so strong. Keeping this 2-on-1 grip until I'm here.
And as so if some people like to hitchhiker and play the fun spinny wrist games, don't try it there. There's no fun wrist games that can occur to save you. You just tap.
Yeah, well, and that's also like I'm putting his arm where I want it. If I'm here and try to put my arm in front of his, right, then he has all those escapes. I keep this connection. I'm driving forward with my hips. Right? Also, don't fall back. That's a real unchristian move. Okay? Because you can't stop that momentum. That makes sense? All right, let's try that on 2 and 2. Big tough guys in this room, and I got that, like, that's gonna be hard for you to get it. Like, it's the hard part is getting them extended like this, because they are so strong. They do not bend like this. They did not come to yoga, right? They're strong here. But the beautiful thing is there's a lot of submissions everywhere, right? And a lot of times we'll get so focused on the one that we want that we drove by 3. Our friend Jay Bell taught it as exits on a freeway, right? So I wanted to get to Louisville, Kentucky, but there's a lot of exits on the freeway on the way there, right? So when I'm here and here, I kind of pointed out that there's a wrist lock there. They could just like wrist lock themselves. Okay, there's one right there. There's also one as soon as I get here.
Tap.
If you get here and they're like bringing this back around,
Tap, tap, tap.
okay, wrist locks everywhere. So we're gonna go. Breathe. You're okay. You're okay.
I'm good with
You're okay.
nightmares tonight, but I'll be alright.
So when I'm coming here, coming around, sometimes you just want to test the waters.
Tap.
Okay? Does that make sense? Keith is laughing.
Laughing at Phil's disapproval over there.
So I'm here, coming around, because I have control of this joint, so then I can attack this one. Also, Kenny's not very flexible, but you get those cops that train wrist locks a lot, and they're like, they can touch their own. So what you do there is you go like flat and then twist.
Tap, tap.
Give that a try on two, one,
Yeah.
two. You guys would wrist lock each other all day long if I let you. But we don't want to get into Mike's time. How many people were here last year? All right. We're not going to drill this just because of time constraints, but I just want to show you that this might look familiar. As we get to this gift wrap position, a lot of times I'll have people just play like the crackhead. And so I'll be like, okay, well, I could, I suppose, take the back and put them in the totem pole.
Oh, why? Who does that?
I taught them all how to do that last year.
Who does that?
That's why you're here. So nice. So the back take, right? I'm not just rolling back onto me because Eric's big and strong and a wrestler, and that's a bad idea. I'm coming way up here so that my feet can be on his hips. And then, do you ever had that coach that's like, get their elbows away from their body? This is like the perfect spot to do that.
Oh, that's nice.
That would feel
Like heart radio.
Until
Oh, too far.